Alright, hello and welcome everybody back to the video. I'm your SimCFI and we're going to be taking the CRJ-900 from Vancouver to Kelowna, a route that I think they used to operate from Vancouver. I believe now it's on the Q400, but they swap them interchangeably. So yeah, I'm going to Kelowna because I want to hopefully, if everything goes well, shoot the RNAV Alpha, which is a circling approach. Which looks like this, and so that's going to be the approach we're going to plan. Hopefully we're going to get that later on, but you can basically see you break out, if it's right down to mins, you'll break out with the additives we add for the airline, 3,200 feet or so, and then you're going to circle to land either a right downwind for 1.6 or a bit of a 360 for 3/4. It's going to be a little bit interesting. This is not the new flight model, so before anyone asks, this is not the new flight model. I'm doing it with the current one. Maybe I'll revisit this approach when the new flight model does come out. I tested it, beta tested it with the new flight model, and it's a million times nicer. But we'll do it today, and then maybe I'll revisit it later on. So we'll put that away for now, off to the side. I'm kind of just in this guy's tug right now, but don't mind that. Let me get in the aircraft. It's going to be from a cold and dark start, and I'll just get everything up set up from my side, and we'll be good to go. I also have the flight plan ready as well, so we can all follow along. Skymaster came in earlier and said hi, so hi if you're still here. Devin C, hello, welcome as well. If you guys are new as well, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be starting now, which we're going to be doing from a cold and dark start. And yeah, so we'll jump in. That should be open. And the first thing you would do is you do the safety check, which I'm not going to do in this sim because everything works, but you do a safety check, just making sure that the thrust levers are cut off, reversers are off, gears down, flaps up, steering's off, LDG or manual landing gear and the ADG is stowed, and all that kind of stuff, where the radar's off. And then you start to apply power to the airplane. So we would go up here to the electrical power, the battery master, you'd click it to on, go down to the electric page, click it once. Obviously the AC will be completely off the system. Click it again. Get rid of those warnings. You'll get the DC section, and we want a minimum of 22 volts on each APU and main battery bus, or main battery, not the bus, sorry. And with that established, we can go ahead and click the external power to on, and if you leave the battery on without external power, the avionics don't actually have enough cooling to cool themselves down, and so you'll have to do I believe it's 5 minutes with the battery on. I just realized my flaps are all the way down. That was from a replay I was doing there. Don't worry about that. We'll bring those up. Anyways, with the ground power established now, you'll notice that the AC power has been distributed between all the TRUs at the top. Everything looks green. Click electric once again, and then there's the electrical power providing power to bus 1, the essential, and then bus 2 to the service bus. So you do not need this DC service on. It's normally kept off unless it's abnormal procedures. Okay, we'll go back to the stat page there, and that brings that page back. And we're going to go ahead and initialize. So let's get the IRSs to nav. And we're going to go to the FMS, either one, doesn't matter. We're going to click index, FMS control. We're going to verify the FMS is synced, so they talk to each other, both FMSs talk to each other, and we're in magnetic heading. Index, position, next page, GNSS1, we're going to copy that, previous page, put it in set position. Don't need to enter anything like here. If you want to enter stuff here, you can. The only reason we would is just to verify that the coordinates are close to what the GPS is giving, but the GPS will always be, should always be, more precise in most cases, 99.9%. Anyways, we're going to Kelowna, so I'll show you the database function later, but anyways, let's keep going with this. So now we go back to the bottom of the list. Everything's enabled. Go to the IRS is enabled, and then VORDME is also enabled. We'll leave that on the flight plan page. We'll leave the other guy on the flight plan page. Nico, welcome. Hey, what's up? Got an hour and 30 minutes to give in the Chally to Keflavik. That's pretty cool. What airplane are you flying it in? Are you also in the RJ as well? I've never actually been out there in the sim. It'd be kind of cool. Anyways, let's go down here. So we would set up our oxygen to test. So our intercom goes to intercom, our speaker goes on, and I'm not going to scroll it, but you'd scroll that speaker up so you can hear. Your mic switch goes to interphone, which would also be scrolled up, and your mic to mask mode. You'd give it a tap or press the button, you'd hear the speaker, or you're tapping through the speakers, that means the mic works. And then you'd also press and hold this, and press and hold these two red levers together, and the cat eye should close when you do that real test. And if it closes, that means there's no leak in the system, so that'd be good. We'll go back to mic 1, intercom off, back to the boom mic, so it uses your headset, or this guy there. That's all done. We go in the overhead panel. Basically, it's bottom, top, left, right. So actually, that should have been on from the safety check. Nav light's on there. And we just do this basically all the way down. So I'm just going to reset all my switches as I have. Oh, you know what? I didn't turn on my Mobi flight. Stand by. So I do have the PU Air Korea minimize overhead panel. So just go ahead and click all my switches so they kind of sync up. There we go. All right. But yeah, just verifying that everything looks good up here. We do the fire test as well, and you get a fire system test. It goes away quite quickly in the sim, but there it is. Hydraulic SOVs are closed, external lights are set. Moving to the middle, everything's deselected and no lights. The anti-ice bleed air is from normal. Bleed valves are auto, so anything you click in here does not matter with the bleed valves in auto. APU is off, everything engine start wise ignition is off, hydraulics are all off. We'll do the test here. All hydraulics except for 3A to on. BBB, green, 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 3000. I can go auto, auto, auto. We'll test the 3A as well. Green, green, 3000. Off. They depressurize a bit quickly in the sim, but that's fine. Then we go to the top, actually go down here. ELT is armed, the passenger O2 is guarded and closed as well. And then the cabin pressurization, everything is set the way we want it. The switch here in the center position with the man rate in decrease, and everything's deselected. Air conditioning, the APU is off, so I'll leave the packs off, or the packs off. The recirc can go on. Everything else here looks good. These guys will kind of preset to around there for temperature-wise. Should give us about 22, 23 when we start up the APU. Anti-ice is all off. We'll click and hold the test there. Unless it's just a press. Okay, it's pressing the sim. We'll go over here. Stat. ADS heat test okay. Windshield heat goes to low. Probes stay off. We don't need any lights. Passenger signs no smoking goes on. Seatbelts can stay off. Emergency lights can go to arm. And then looking from right to left, everything is nicely guarded and closed. No, and the autopilot switch is in the up position. So we'll go ahead and do the stall test, which requires the trim to be enabled. And we'll set 6 degrees of nose up trim, or I guess in this case down. And the hydraulic 3A pump has to go on for that. You'll also get the stall picture on the right, or stall pusher on the left. And we're going to click the stall button. You'll notice that the stick will shake, move forward, come back to center, and stop shaking, with also the continuous ignition being turned on as well. So there's the test completed. We can turn the 3A pump off now. Let's get the boarding started.
Boarding requested.
So we don't have to wait for that too long. The EGWS test. This one I don't think works with the Boris sounds, but I'll give it a try. It should be one click and not a hold. You get the messages. We don't hear the audio. Again, I think that's because of the Boris sounds that screwed that up, but we'll say it worked. CVR test, click and hold this. Get the green. There we go. We'll attach the tug if it's not the massive one, if I hope they have the right GSX profile. Depends on what tug. Yeah, that tug I want. We can attach that one. Okay. We'll come to the center. Anthony says I'm sitting in my airline OCC and people are asking why I'm watching flight sim. Yeah, exactly right. I actually did that once too. I just try to make a positive note out of it. Like, hey, people are simulating our job right now. You know, there could be worse things, right? You got a delay or whatever. It says, do you ever use the handheld microphone? Yeah, all the time. So I only really use it at the beginning of the flight. So if we have to call in any security seal numbers, or we got to call like for the laboratory needs the service, or we need water, that kind of stuff, I call on my clearance usually with that. Once we're in the air, I barely use it, but that's just me. Anyways, yeah, the CAS messages are as we expect. We're looking for anything that we shouldn't have there. We'll go to the next page by clicking CAS, and anything like an APU fire fail or something like we wouldn't think to see. We'd look for those. And then the stat messages are associated as well. Stam instrument's okay and uncaged. Down here, we'll turn the anti-disk get off. Get the two messages, turn it back on. Landing gears down. MLG overheat. And you get the warnings plus the message there as well. Warning overheat fail. You get the overheat fail. Engine syncs on N1. Everything else here is deselected and not pressed. We don't need that. Same with our terrain. Our ground proximity overrides are deselected. Our pitch and roll are pushed in. Spoilers are fully retracted. Reversers can be turned on. The auto ground lift dumping system is in automatic mode. Reversers are shut, or sorry, the engines are still shut off with the flaps still in 0. The trims have all been engaged. Our standby radio can go to standby. Yaw dampeners, we can engage these. We'll click the first one, and you'll notice it says yaw dampener 2 inoperative, so we'll click the second one. And there's no yaw dampener message, and there's no YD in the PFD, so that means they're on. Everything, as far as select panel is all normal. We'll set our jump seater up in case we have one to the interphone so he doesn't talk to anybody important. And we are basically good to start setting up the FMS. So I'm going to bring up the flight plan, and you guys can watch along with me as I program it. Up there. So we're going from CYVR to CYLW, and I'm actually going to go over here real quick. Flight plan. I'm going to set payload and fuel. Click that twice just in case. We'll refresh the weather. I'm not going to send the OFP to the FMS because, or send the FMS data because that's just not realistic. We can't do that. So our alternate's going to be CYVR. The flight number is actually it's just 274. The first waypoint en route is Janek. Then we're going to CCAB. And then CCAB 5 arrival, so pretty standard. We'll go departure arrival. We're probably going to get the YVR2 and runway 2. Let's see what they're using. I think they use 26 right normally for departure. They're using, looks like 26 left today. So we'll do 26 left on the Vancouver 2. Execute that, departure arrival. And the CCAB 5. Execute that. We'll leave our approaches blank. And we'll just make sure this all looks good. Obviously we have the vector from the departure, and we should not have a discontinuity there. We'll go ahead and bring those together. Elman, Pilma, Vivtech. That one goes into Vil mode. This has the RNAV alpha already kind of plugged in because this, I believe, is on the RNAV alpha, so we won't put that in just yet. Cool. That's all been good. Performance. We'll go over here to the performance calculator. Probably going to be a flex of 45 or so is normally where we live. We'll go takeoff and landing. This gave us a flex of 48. Pretty typical. Flap 8, 26 left. So that's all planned. We'll go return to load sheet. It's a flap 8 takeoff. It's dry. We'll set our speeds up in the window there in the PFD. And we'll go back here. So our fuel is 86.65. I'll just put 86.50. Oh yeah, never mind. It doesn't model that, but what it says. And our flight level today, if we scroll up in here, 230. Scroll down again for our alternate cruise altitude. Back home will be 260. And then our zero fuel weight is 69,456. It's actually quite heavy. 69,456. Put that in there. It goes zero fuel weight plus the fuel equals a gross weight. So in this case, if we had a failure after takeoff and we were required to come back home, we would have to circle a bit for the fuel because we're going to be over max landing weight. And I'm just checking this flight plan right now. The landing they've planned us is at the max landing weight, which it's never a good idea to be going in with max landing weight as a plan. So I'm going to say I kicked off some baggage. Has to go on a different plane. And we're at 67,956 now. 67,956. That's better. I like that better. Next page. Yeah, the sim brief doesn't really calculate at all to what we would really do. But anyways, go up here. Got a -4 for the ISO deviation. That can be found right here. Execute that. These are our winds. We got headwinds except for the descent. So we got a -40. And then a -13. The wind switches into a tailwind of 14 knots. Next page. Estimated time of departure. We'll scroll down. It's 18:45. Taxi fuel's 400 is default. SimBrief always plans 5. I'm going to leave 400. Our reserve is 1712. Okay, perf 48 is the flex. The flex has not been improved in the V2 just yet. It is being worked on in the next one, so the flex will work correctly. The flex temp today won't be correct, but we'll put it in there. VNAV, next page in cruise. Go all the way top to the top of climb section. Move so you guys can see. There we go. Top of climb is 301 knots, which equals hopefully 0.69 in the cruise at Mach. Execute that. Next page, a 4.0 descent is fine. Our radio will go auto is fine. 2000 in both squawks. And again, it'd only be one. There shouldn't be two of these, but MFD menu, we're flying from the right, so VNAV on the right side and on for the left side. Flight plan, copy active. Flight plan, copy active. Both are copied for a secondary flight plan in case we need it. Legs, and we're good to go. So, I'm just gonna check one thing here. It's a pretty short flight, guys. So we might even do the return as well. We're still boarding up. Let's go ahead and get the APU online. The fueling has been completed. There's no auto cross-flow inhibit. If you were fueling in real life, this panel in real life, at least in the ones I fly, are on the side of the airplane, and we're on the right wing, at the root of the right wing. So if the fueler had that switch up and he's starting to fuel, auto crossflow would be inhibited. It's a bit of a reminder that, hey, maybe you gotta check for the fueler because we can't start the APU if they're fueling. So APU stop there. Aaron, welcome. What's up? Love the CRJ. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining in. Hope you're enjoying it. The APU, the power fuel, do a bit test, which has been completed. The LCV is open. The LCV is open. The gauges have appeared. The door is open. We can go ahead and press the start button. And fun fact about the APU and the RJ on the ground, it will auto detect a fire, auto stop the APU, and automatically extinguish the fire, or it will at least discharge the bottle to an attempt to discharge the fire or extinguish it, which is kind of cool. And once the APU is up, we're going to go into the electric page to make sure that the external power is switched to APU power. External's been taken off. APU's taken the load. We'll go ahead and click the switch out. The external power can be disconnected at this point. We'll press electric one more time, make sure the DC system is still functioning properly, which it is. We'll go to the ECS page, which is our environmental control. We'll turn the packs both to on. And we're going to start, I don't know why it's that cold. It shouldn't be that cold. It's only 10 degrees in Vancouver right now. But anyways, this is what we're telling the airplane to do, and this is the current temperature, so it's going to be getting warmer from -66. I'll press stat, APU's online. I think they just finished the boarding as well for passengers. I think they might still be doing the baggage, or they... Oh, they all finished that too. So we'll go ahead and close all that up. That's good timing. So we can't close the passenger door yet because there's a gate attached to it, but we can close all the cargo doors. We'll leave the chocks in because I can't do the door after that. Kyle, welcome. How's the RJ MS 2024? This is 2020, but in 24 it works just fine from what I've been hearing. Some people on the new beta have been having a bit of problems, but that's beta, so like the new SU beta for Microsoft, so just be careful of that. But I've heard good things. I've used it a couple times in 24. I'm just not a fan of 24 to begin with, but I've heard it works well. Cool. APU's online. The gen's on as well. We'll get the hydraulic 3A. Temperature's already been set. The landing altitude, so index database CYLW 1420. We're gonna put that in there. So I'm gonna hold left shift and scroll maybe 6 times or so. 800. Maybe another 4 times. 14. Okay, that's pretty good. And then just one scroll. Boop. That works well. Legs page. That's been set. We're gonna set up our trim. I noticed my mouse is being a bit annoying. Just give me a second. I'm gonna disconnect my mouse, which might freeze the sim momentarily. I really appreciate you guys joining as well, and if you're new, please subscribe and like for more. The sim is just waking back up from, there it is, and I'm gonna turn the depth of field on for the screenshot, but I'm gonna turn that off because I don't need it. It's probably taking up performance. All right, so AP's online, hydraulics are on, go the seat belts on as well. The tug's already attached. We can remove the jet bridge. I guess I could do that from the iPad, can't I? There we go. Toggle jet bridge, so it should start going away. There we go. I had to click it. Okay. Try it again. I just maybe I had to wait. There's a Max behind us there. Bridge is being put away. The flight attendant would say if we're good to close, and we'll say yes, so they can close this one. And they can close that one. Remove the chocks. The trim required is 7.1. 7.1. We'll throw the beacon light on. Actually, let's do this properly. Let's go to the doors page. Everything is closed and green. The fuel pumps can get turned on. The steering is off. The beacon can get turned on. The transponder can be set to number 2, flying from the right, and the parking brake once we're allowed to release it. So, we're basically good to push. Devin says, a trick you can do is set the landing altitude, press and hold the right alt, then click on the display to pop out the window, then you can scroll. Oh, yeah, you can do that too. I just don't like popping out windows because Microsoft has crashed me doing that a couple times. If you press the button at the top right, not minimize but not X, the one that makes it into a separate window that you can drag to other screens, I've had it freeze many times, so I've just given up on doing that. That's why I'm using performance. There we go. All right. Sorry, I'm doing something on quick CPU because I'm noticing my performance isn't correct. Let's talk about the departure. We're doing the Vancouver 2. So I'll get it up here for you. And it's going up to 7,000 feet, so I'll go ahead and bug that in here. There's no one online for VATSIM, so I'll be giving my own clearances and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get CTAF up and running shortly as well. Altimeter, I'll press the magic B button because I can't be bothered. Our flight directors have to be turned to the right-hand side because we're flying from the right side today. And then our MDA has to be set, I believe it's 1020 in Vancouver. So we'll go ahead and hold left shift and scroll this to 1020. And something I've mentioned as well is the MDA should only be able to just be scrolled by tens. It shouldn't be going up by single digits and that kind of thing. Yeah, you gotta love MSFS, right? It always crashes some weird way. That's been set, that's been set, that's been set. Let's check our heading. It's 263 for runway heading. And we'll take a look at this chart at the same time. We'll take a look over... Oh, you know what? I should get rid of that flight plan. Sorry about that. I always forget to do that for you guys. So we'll press takeoff and landing. It's going to be runway 26 left, flap 8, flex rolling bleeds open, which I have to put the flex. I did that already. Now, real world, if we did have a takeoff report with the flex temp or even full rate thrust, it should give us what thrust setting that should be. So example, flex 48 should give us 83.2 or whatever, and we cannot, if we put a flex temp of 48 and it gives us 83, like 83, not 83.2, we technically have to start flexing down a bit because we cannot be under the reported flex RN1, but it doesn't do that. Anyways, yeah, runway 26 left, flap 8, flex rolling bleeds open. Anti-ice and continuous conditions not required unless we're taking off behind a heavy condition might be needed there, or birds, stuff like that. The minimum visibility is more than sufficient. Basically a beautiful day in Vancouver. We'll bring out Vancouver to departure on runway 26 left. It's a runway heading 263 assigned by ATC. There's no ATC. We're up to 7,000 feet. Pretty standard, so just going this way. And then we'll vector ourselves around. The noise, actually we'll talk about the noise in Vancouver because there is mountains. We are taking off away from the mountains, but we can still do it. Let's go to taxi and airport info. Wait, not that one. 9 Alpha. There we go. What am I doing? I'm looking. This is for the minimum visits. My mistake. Noise. There we go. Departure. NAVDA 1, NAVDA 2. Probably do NAVDA 1. And follow the SID to 3,000 feet before proceeding on course. So we're going to stay runway heading until 3,000 at the very least, and then we will start turning on course. Also, because this is mountainous airspace, it is VFR, but we're going to maintain VT until we're above the sector and or we're visually cleared above the mountains. So in this area it would be 7,000 feet, and the high sector is 7,000, so we'll just basically at 7,000. We do have a 100-mile safe altitude. Within 100 miles of the airport is 12,800 as well. But again, it's visual, so we'll be able to see everything. We'll put that away. Taxi-wise, we're starting off at the south side here, and we're going to be taxiing to 26 left down there. So probably push on to go to Juliet Hotel. And then Delta. Is that right? Looks pretty good. I'm not ATC. I don't give myself clearances like this, but Juliet Hotel Delta should be pretty good. Alright, let's get the CTAF up, and we're basically ready to push. CTAF was 18.7. I'll lock my chair. GSX, prepare pushback. Oscar, does V2 include the CRJ-550? I'm on SU Beta and I don't see it in the selection menu. Yeah, you should have everything. You should have 550 all the way to 1,000. Max says, greetings from Germany. Really enjoy CRJ content. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you joining, stopping on in. We could do nose to the right, I believe. Should be more than sufficient. There's no one around us. My view's all messed up. There we go.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
I don't know, I'm getting this kind of bad frame loss right now. Oh, actually, I might know why. I turned my shadows up and I shouldn't have. You know, it's just a 4080 graphics card. Who knew you can't run it? Nah, it's still bad. Maybe just VATSIM traffic or something. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start. Starting right. We're going to add fuel at 20% N2 with an ITT below 120, which in the sim you'll never see it above 120 on a start. Oh, that's weird. They both came up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention, as we will now.
Okay, they're
display
pushing me like into the grass, so we're
Once
just
the
gonna
seatbelt
tell them
sign
to
is
stop.
illuminated, insert the metal fitting.
Oh, I love GSX. I swear I had the thing as well.
Please set parking brake.
I had it, yeah. Alright, we'll start our cutout number 1. We'll stop our timer. Or sorry, number 2. We'll start number 1. Technically should have been a number 1 start actually, because we are simulating our first flight a day. But certain companies do different things.
Life vests are located under your seat. Secure the vest around you and pull on the red strap to inflate
Unlocking
it.
gear.
As we prepare for takeoff, please take the time to make sure your seat is upright, your tray table is secured, and your seat belt is fastened. Thank you for your attention.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright. Beautiful Boris sounds. I didn't start my timer, but we'll go and press that to ET, and the mode should be GPS. Please let me click it. There we go. The engines are both online. We'll press electric page. Good. Electric page. Good. APU. Start panel. The aft car can get turned on. The probes can get turned on. The wing anti-ice and the engine is not required. Go ahead and test the rudder. Now, you're not going to see me go full left because my rudder pedal with the dead zone I have in here won't let it go. But steering on. Echo, what was it? I already forgot what I was going to go. It's Juliet Hotel Delta. Not even close to Echo. Juliet Hotel Delta. Vancouver traffic, Jazz 274, taxiing Juliet Hotel Delta, runway 26 left. Vancouver. Okay. Oh, why am I getting all this stutter stuff? This is not fun. Not fun at all. Let me try a different CPU profile here, and I'm going to try to clean my memory. I wonder if it's FS realistic. Like, I shouldn't be stuttering. Anyways. Whatever. Probably have to do NVIDIA. Ash clean again. Taxi light on. Parking brake off. A little bit of thrust. And I can show you guys the charts over here, actually. If I go to charts and use flight plan, Vancouver. Nope. There we go. Actually, I didn't want that at all. X. Zoom in. There we go. Isn't that pretty cool? There's Juliet. Aye, that's pretty sweet. Go take this right turn onto Juliet, and then there's going to be a left turn onto Hotel. Let me know how the sounds are, guys, as well, and I can turn them up for you. Thank you again for joining on this early stream. AI says, in the Phoenix, you can set the audio in the cockpit to hear the cabin announcements. Can you? Yeah, you can. I just don't want to hear it. Rear world, we don't hear that kind of stuff from the engine sound and the headset we have, and not even the engines. The engines are kind of far away, but the air conditioning in the RJ is very loud, and the headsets we have. But if you go options, next page, it's right here. You could turn them on, but I just don't want them. Owen, welcome. I love the way they walk off as if they didn't just... Yeah, they're just like, later. You're good. Have a good one. And we're clear right. We're clear left. Got some WestJet Air Canada guys there. I don't know if they're joining us or if they're flying on their own. Those look like they might be sceneries, static airplanes though. Okay, it's a left turn Juliet. Or hotel, sorry. There we are. And then we'll be taking another left turn on Delta coming up shortly. And we'll increase thrust a little bit now that we're done the turn. We're shooting for 5.2 million likes today. And I think we'll be able to reach it. There's Delta coming up. Got a dash parked off the left there, and we have a cargo jet 767 off to the left too in the hangar. That looks kind of cool. Beautiful sounds. Alright, well, we're on the straightaway to 26 left. Let's go ahead and get the flap set, and we'll do our before takeoff. Testing full left, neutral, full right, neutral, full down, neutral, full up. Looking good. We'll go to status page. The N1 value is 87, so this is where we would check the N1 versus the ACARS N1 required. We don't get a N1 required for takeoff in the sim, so we're gonna say that's good. Usually we're at 83, so that's more than enough thrust. That's pretty good. Param says, do you have a video about trimming the CRJ? I don't. On the new, so I'm testing the current beta flight model. Basically, at a point, it was just me and the developer testing and working together, and now it's been brought to the rest of the beta team to kind of test as well. The new one will be significantly better to fly in general in every part. Like, I'm telling you guys, a million times better, and the trim has been improved as well. So I probably won't make a video until that flight model video, or the new one comes out, because it's just not worth it. This one doesn't fly kind of at all close, whereas the new one will, it kind of emulates what an RJ would feel like and do pretty well. Is it going to be one-to-one? No, nothing is. But it'll be like, yeah, that's kind of what I expect the RJ to do. Like, that's, you know, where we're at with it. And it's very, very good. Since V2, I'd occasionally terrain pull-up warnings during climb-out. Is this bug, or am I doing something wrong? I'd have to see. You're at a Toronto runway 5. It shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so depending on your takeoff procedure, we're pulling up on rotate. We're pulling up all the way to V2 plus 10 to maintain. So you should be about 8, you know, on any given day, 15 to 18 degrees nose up. If you're not near that, then you're probably you might get it in the sim. I'm not sure. Let's turn that off. Let's go back here, bring this guy up. So we'll probably take it from Delta 7. We don't really necessarily need Delta 9. Make sure there's still no V pilot on. I just kind of went without actually checking again, but yeah, there's still no one online. I'm going to take this right turn, then a left turn, and it'll be the second right. Viper, welcome, welcome. Hello, friends. Nav not work my. Nav not work my. Your LNAV's not working? I have a Discord if you'd like to post a video of your problem, and I can help out. It should be working, though. Vancouver traffic, Jazz, set 274, lining up runway 26 left, Vancouver to departure. Vancouver. Alright, let's do the lineup. So we'll go ahead and get the strobe on. We'll give the flight attendants a warning. Kind of the wrong sound, but whatever. We'll go ahead and assess the messages. We're good with those. We'll go ahead and box those. And you know, it is VATSIM, so let me just take the time to look around, because I don't trust too many people here. I think we're pretty good. Pigeon, welcome, welcome. Hello. How are you doing? We'll say we're clear takeoff, so we'll throw our landing light on as well. And again, guys, unlike the other departures where, you know, speed mode, heading mode, accelerate past our level off height, we're going to keep VT the entire, we're going to still accelerate, but instead of accelerating to 250 after you bring the flaps up, we're going to maintain VT just to kind of simulate we were in IFR weather. It's good practice. We are visual, so real world, you don't have to do that, but we're going to say that we're IFR conditions in a mountainous airport takeoff, so we'll hold VT all the way up to the sector. Alright, TOTO, takeoff config's okay, 26 left verified. Let's get going. We got wind from the right, so my yoke's gonna go this and this. I'm doing more than what it shows on my actual yoke. B1 rotate. Gear up. Speed mode. Climb 156. Heading mode. Yeah, above 600 feet, we'll engage the autopilot. Come up to our acceleration height here. We're gonna scroll our speed from 156 up to our VT speed, which we'll see what it was in a second here. Then we're looking for V2 plus 12. There it is. And we can select our flap to 1. Flap 1. Then a speed of VT minus 15 knots, and we can go to flaps to 0. Hey, Hypoxia, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Flap 0. Gears up and everything's good to go. Flaps are out. We'll go climb thrust. And again, we're going to maintain VT. We're going to simulate. We're obviously in a mountainous region, and we're going to simulate we're full IMC. So we're going to climb up to the sector altitude at VT speed. Can't turn on course till 3,000 feet. Viper, yes. RNAV not work. Plane not follow flight plan. It's probably a user error, my friend. I'd have to take a look at what you're doing there. But yeah, go post a video in my Discord, and I'll be sure to look at it. There's 3,000, so we're above the noise. We would be able to start turning now. And let's just say we're going to give ATC vectors, so we're going to go off to the left. Because they probably wouldn't turn you over mountains. I'm going to hold on that. And we'll say we're cleared to all the way up to 230. Spooled up, welcome. First time passenger. We'll really appreciate you guys joining in. Be sure to subscribe and like as well. I guess if you're commenting, you've already subscribed, but so I appreciate that. Just blasted off out of Vancouver. Going into Kelowna. We'll do our after takeoffs as well. And so in this sector, I believe we're actually already above the sector altitude in this zone, so we can start speeding on up. Oop, maybe not. Probably over here. Yeah. So we'll keep going. Again, in a visual condition, I'm going to stress in a visual condition like this, we could start speeding up, but I'm simulating we're full IMC, and so in that case, if we're full IMC in a mountainous region, we'd hold our VT speed all the way up until the sector altitude, which in this case, in our sector, is 7,000 feet. as you can see from the chart right there. Alrighty. Should be pretty smooth the rest of the way. We'll probably go belts auto after the next turn. Just bought the V2, never owned it before. Well, hopefully you enjoy it. There's 7,000 feet. We're going to go climb to 50, and we'll keep turning on left. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in the Discord or and watch all the videos I've made. I do have a playlist for the old V1, and I have some new videos coming out for the V2 playlist. So be sure to watch those if you have any questions. There's probably a lot of answers in those. I also have a lot of CRJ do's and don'ts videos, where if you watch other people's videos, they sometimes do things that aren't correct. So I have a do's and don'ts video to say, don't do this, but you can do this, this, this. So those might help as well. They're kind of quick little videos, so they should be fast and easy to watch and gain some stuff on that. So appreciate you stopping in. Hope you enjoy the airplane. It's only going to be getting better. We're doing flight model testing as we speak. Not in the stream, but on my time off. Okay, direct Janik. And I'm going to do it one more time. Execute that. We'll go nav mode. FMS2 is captured. Kyle says, hi there, really enjoying the learning this aircraft and your content is very helpful. We really appreciate that as well. Give me Discord. Alright, it's in the description. Starting to get troll vibes. My troll detector's going off. Could be wrong, but I usually pretty good at it. the Discord's in the description. It's 10,000 feet. We'll go lights out. Check the pressure. Belts auto. Go vertical speed to 1500, and we're going to increase to 280 knots. As soon as I went belts auto, it's starting to get bumpy. That's pretty realistic. As soon as you touch that switch, it gets turbulent. But it doesn't look too bad. The mountain's going to get probably worse, but we'll see what happens. So maybe we'll go back to belts on. Sorry. And we'll wait a little bit. I am using real turb, and I'm using also what's that thing called? Let's go over vertical speed a little bit higher, and then we'll go climb 280. What's that tool called? FS Realistic. Okay, I'm just going to climb vertical speed at 3200 just to get that speed trend to come back down, and then we're going to click climb mode or speed mode in a second. Well, I think we'll be able to make above 9. The weather in Kelowna is looking quite nice. We got to pretty much start prepping for that. It's a very short flight. It is 350, 15 gusts and 25, so we'll be landing 34. And 9 mile viz, clear, 12 degrees, 309. We'll go climb 280. 280. 309. So we're going to plan the RNAV Alpha, which is a circling approach, or it's a cloud braking procedure basically to get you low enough to see the airport. And it looks like this. And basically we're going to come in from Kobev, then Boldy, then Elsa, and then EBDOT. And if you're at EBDOT, we're going to add our airline. We add a lot of buffer, so 3,200 feet. And you do not see the runway. You fly this published mist, and you're good to go. But if you do see the runway, because it's clear today, I suppose I'd see it from this perspective, from this point here. We're going to go all the way down to 3,200, and then we're going to circle for runway 34. So we can either break it off and go visual and just descend more and land, or we can come up to this point and do a 360 like this and come back and land like that too. So many different ways we can do that. Transition, we'll hit it there. That's set already for later. We'll hit it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug the MDA of 3,200 in the chart, or in the MDA there. Usually I do weather weights plates, so I'll do the weather first, then I'll do my landing weight, but I'm going to plug this in as I have it here already in front of my face so I don't forget it. 3,200 feet. Pretty high, which is above about 1,600 feet above ground, so 1,800 feet with our additives there. Yannick says, can you share your FS Realistic and Real Trip settings for the CRJ, or are you using defaults? I'm using a preset for FS Realistic. It's called Aerosoft CRJ-900 by Blue Streak 5150. That's what I'm using for FS Realistic. And then my Real Trip settings in the are set to 50. So 50, 50, 50 on the top three. And then no sound, because I hate the sound it makes. Anyways, we'll go here. We'll go performance. We'll type in here, we're going to CYLW. That's 22 for 23,000. Runway 34, it's dry. We'll refresh the METAR, and we're going to get a landing weight. I'll level off quickly here, so we'll bring our thrust back. They wanted us at 301 knots. So actually, we'll leave it in climb thrust until we accelerate up there. Perf. You'll notice that this does not update. It should, but it doesn't. 71, let's call it 7,100. 75,000 pounds is what we're currently at, but we're doing... They expect us to be there at 6,000 pounds of gas. So 6,000 plus 8, we'll call it 8, 68,000. So 8 plus 2 is 70, plus 4 is 74,000 pound landing roughly. We're going to bring our thrust back for 300 knots. And it's kind of been bumpy the whole way, so we're going to have to unfortunately keep the seatbelts the whole way. We might let them go a little bit, but 74,000 pounds in there. VREF. No reverse thrust is required. We'll be using idle reverse. Calculate. We'll be using 3,400 feet of 9,000 feet of runway. Now, some threats here is obviously it's mountainous. We'll talk about that later, and it's also a high density, a little bit high density airport as well. Jeffrey says hi. Greens from Poland. Hey, welcome. Hope you're enjoying. Could you give a link to Cockpit mod? It should be. Let me see if I can find it here for you. Just if you type in CRJ V2 liveries and fs.to, it should pop up, but I'll see if I can find it here for you. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Well, I'll look for it on the ground, but it should be in the V2 section of fs.to. I'll have to keep planning this arrival because it's going to come up quickly, so. Anyways, we'd set our HCP up as well. It doesn't really work in the sim, so I'm going to skip that part. And then departure, arrival, arrival. We're doing RNAV Alpha 3-4 via Kobev. Legs. We'll bring this up to make it make sense. Next page. Vivtech Vilma Amdat. And then we got Kobev. There's no ATC whatsoever, so I'm probably just going to connect it from here, even though I really shouldn't, but I'm going to. And then they want Dammit at 6,000 above. I'm going to make that a hard altitude, which kind of broke. It says we have to climb there, which is not right, but anyways. Maybe we'll just leave it at 6,000 above. Maybe it'll go back to a descent. Nope. Alright, well, whatever. Airplane randomly shaking. If I start shaking like that, I go to an engine parameter to make sure nothing's going on. The vibrations. Anyways, keep going. Boldy, 5,100 above. Ellison at 4,700 above. And then Adzot at it's the minimum. We're going to put in 3,200 there. That's our additives added there. Missed approach is heading a 355 to 3,100 feet, and we're above. Then 183 to Almox to hold at 7,400. And then holding at Almox 205/7,400. We'll execute all that. Looks good. I'll give you a brief in a second. I don't know why it's turning, but we'll just do that. Might have to make some actually quick adjustments there because my yoke is... Oh, actually, let me do them when I get slower. But it's kind of behaving quite sensitive. I don't like that, but we are in high airspace and going... or higher altitudes, thin air. And we're going quite quickly, so... Yeah, this yoke is so sensitive right now. Barely moving my yoke. Alright, I'll press autopilot on. And we'll just reconfirm it back to CCAB. Just so it has somewhere to know to go. And then we're probably going to follow this trap where it's forever going to alt cap. So we'll press vertical speed minus 500 or so just to get it back towards an alt capping mode, and it'll go to 230. Oh, now it's climbing. Yeah, it gets a little interesting. It's descending again. Could be some bumps and some turbulence as well doing that, so we'll chalk it up to turbulence for now. Yeah, we're basically good to go. So I'll give you guys a brief. Let me just check when my descent's coming up here. Top of descent says 10 minutes, 65 miles. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we have a bit of time. So we're doing the CCAB 5 arrival. We're coming in via CCAB, which is above 9800. We'll do that. Then we're going to VivTech, Vilmo, AMDAT. And then I actually probably should have programmed it from AMBAT. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Let's go back here. Should have looked at what I did. RNAV 34 Alpha via AMBAT. Legs. And we're going to CCAB now. Looks good. VivTech speed's looking okay. A little bit more thrust. AMDAT 210-8000.
Vancouver traffic, 123, passing 10,000 feet, 25 miles to...
Go there. A lot of bumps. Cap at 7,800 above. Boldy 551 above. Ellison 47 above. ADSOT 32. Then missed approach 205.74. Cool. Let's do our VREF also at... actually, there is no runway, so we don't need that in there. Alright. Lot of bumps. A lot of mountain wave over the turbulence areas here. Don't really know why it always turns when I re-execute these things. But it's what we got. Have to make do. Throw on the autopilot again. Love the mountain wave as a glider pilot. Yeah, I don't like it. If you're a glider, you'll love it. Anyways, we're gonna come in from AMBAT, GoBot, then Boldy, starting the approach at Boldy, Elson, ADSOT. So we'll go to the RNAV Alpha again. Already on it, sorry. And again, this is a circling approach, and what this approach is meant to do is get you low enough to the point that you can see the airport and basically visually maneuver to land. And if you had to land 1.6, let's say you're coming this way, and you had to land that way, you'd break it off once you're visual, stay visual, and kind of make this right downwind. You're not going to circle to the right, even if you go down here, it says no circling right of the runway there. So you'd break it off here, do a right downwind, come in and land. And the other way you can do it, if you had to go 3-4 and you got visual here, you can do a 360 and stay below the clouds and come around and land. So we're going to simulate, I'm probably going to see this airport from a lot further away, but we're going to simulate that the weather is kind of a little bit poor, and we're going to maybe see it around this point, just after Elson. We're also going to start dirtying up. So we're going to start dirtying up probably, let's see, that's 5 miles, so about 10 miles till Adsud. So probably at Boldy, just past Boldy, we're going to start dirtying up with flap 8 and gear and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of thrust for 301. That's what we're going to plan. So we'll be flap 30 gear down by this point. We'll circle at flaps 30 and we'll go 45 at the last point there. Maybe because I'm by myself, I'll just go straight to 45 and call it a day in the simulator world. But that's the plan. And then we're going to exit to the left. It's a 9,000 foot strip. The threat's obviously being terrain. If we're on approach to the east side of us, so if we go miss, we're going straight, and to the left after. And even coming over through our approach, we have terrain below. So we're going to have terrain mode selected as our navigation display mode there. Got a bit of bumps of turbulence going on. The other threat is it's a bit of a higher density airport, so the airplane may not perform as it normally does. It's not too high, it's only about 1,400 feet, and it's a bit it's a little colder than standard, so it should be more than fine. It's not like Denver or anything. All right. Other than that being completely wrong, Allman wants 25 to make 98, and VivTech at 95 is 1,200 a minute. That's the one we're looking for here. So we're going to wait till this says 2,800 a minute, and then we're going to start down at 3,000. Also, oh, sorry, I already wrote that one. Yeah, this one's quite a short flight, so you got to get a lot of stuff prepared, basically, as you go. Hopefully, we might be out of the bumps. I may be able to let people take a quick bathroom break. The reported turbulence was supposed to be, let's see, go up here. Oh, yeah, we got 7s passing C-cab. So we just passed that. That's where those big bumps were. Now it's supposed to drop off to a 3. It does become a 4 atop a descent, though. So it's going to be basically turbulent the whole way until we have to descend, and then it's too late for our passengers. So hopefully they can manage 40 minutes or so without getting up. People have to go to the bathroom. They'll go to the bathroom anyways. How close this airport was. I didn't want to work this hard. I might actually disconnect from VATSIM. You know what? I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM, seeing how there's no one on anyways. And I'm going to change the weather up. And we'll try to match... Whoa. We'll try to match the wind as best as we can on the ground. It was 350... something like that. 15... gusting, was it like 20 or something like that? It had a lot of thrust because this weather change is not being too good for us right now. And then the clouds, we're going to make it overcast and about 1,400 or so. That's a bit more realistic to, you know, to make this approach look a bit cooler. I think, at least. And then we'll slow down for that weather change there. Alright. Let's see, Vilmo at 70 or 17 required, or sorry, VivTech is 95, which is still almost 2,000 required. We're still good on that. So this is kind of where this procedure would be nice, is basically it's visually and clear below the cloud, and the clouds are just high enough that we can get to, actually I should probably change that so it's enough for us to actually do it. There we go. And this procedure will get us nice and low enough to see the airport, and then we can visually maneuver for the arrival. That is the plan. I'm noticing that VivTech wants 210 at 9500, so we'll probably start down when it wants 26, just so we can get ahead of the game on the slowing down portion. If it was just 250, I would start 200 away, but it's 210, so we got to slow a bit more than the 250. Really appreciate you guys watching as well, so thank you for that. Okay, I was gonna just kind of fix that up because it's not doing that good of a job, but it's gonna get better now. So this is sequenced itself a bit nicer. It says 22, but we actually want 24, so we'll go off this number because this one's usually correct. We have a tailwind about 7 knots, that's fine. Got 25 likes in the chat. That's amazing, guys. Really appreciate that. The like goal is infinity, so if you guys want to press it, be my guest. Feel free. Aquila says, I probably said that wrong, but just picked up the CRJ and need to learn it. All right, well, welcome to the channel. It's probably one of the good places to learn it. Many videos on the channel for it, so feel free to watch those. I have 2 playlists that we gotta start descending here. 2 playlists that will help with that. And we're planning 30,000 a minute, but now we're gonna need about 37, and we'll use some spoiler there. Do 38. Wow, these spoilers are very effective. They don't work quite that well in real life. But anyways, yeah, so welcome. And I have 2 playlists, one for the V2, one for the regular. I would recommend watching the do's and don'ts videos. And I would also recommend these live streams or the full flight tutorial as well, which should help pretty good. And I hope you enjoy it. The flight mode is going to be getting better. We're beta testing that, not on the channel. I can't show that off, but I am one of the testers for it, and that will be getting a massive improvement. So look forward to that as well. Okay, so we're going to be level at VivTech a bit early. That's fine. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get this number even further down. I'm going to bug 210. And there's transition of 309, so I'm going to hit the... Actually, it'll probably be standard now because I've changed the weather. It says, very cool to hear about the flight model improvements. I'm Greece from Holland. Whoa, welcome. We've got a lot of people from different countries. It's pretty sweet. I guess that's the benefit of doing these early streams. Going to the soup here, go wings and cowls on. Should have had it on earlier. It is only 10, but it's usually gets colder at the inside the clouds. And so basically, plan of action is 12,000 feet. We're going to select a less feet per minute, and we're going to slow for 210 at the same time. Well, 250 for 10,000, and then 210 for 995 at the next waypoint. It's all about it's about 10 p.m. in Europe, so perfect time. Yeah, perfect. So I can start doing some streams of these times too if you guys enjoy these as well. It just happens I'm off today and nothing else to do. So I don't really have a stream schedule, I just, whenever I'm off. Gold says, definitely excited about those upcoming flight model improvements. Yeah, they'll be amazing. I can't understate how good it's going to be. There's 12,000 feet. We're going to select 1,200 a minute, which just so happens to be what we, on our VipTech wants 17, so we'll do 17 plus some spoiler action here. And we'll get slower. Okay, it's gonna get quite busy, so I'm gonna do my approach checks a little early. We'll turn the lights on. We'll double ding them. The altimeters are all set and cross-checked. Go ahead and press the stat button there. There's 250 at 10. But we're going to continue slowing down to 210 for that next waypoint coming up. And this is going to happen quite quickly, guys. There's 10.5 for 95. We're going to be coming from Ambat, then at Boldy. Probably on this, just before Boldy, I'll get flaps to 1 and 8. Take the turn, gear, 20, 30, 45, and we'll start circling. Alt's capping at 9,500. The spoilers are still out to slow us here, but the leveling off will definitely help, so I'm going to start retracting our spoilers. Nicely meeting 9,500 feet at 210 knots. Spoilers retracted. It's above 10 degrees, so wings and cowls off. There's no ice light reported, so we can turn those off. A little bit of thrust for 210 knots. The airplane's taking its sweet time to Alt's cap. The next one is 8,000 at 210, so I'm just going to do 8,000 feet. We're already at 210, so I'm going to click the speed button, descend to 10, idle thrust, and the airplane's going to maintain our 210 for us. What rates of descent should start? After 4, it starts to get kind of bad. It's not terrible, but it starts to get kind of bad after 4. And the ears start popping and all that kind of stuff. We don't really try to be more than 35, really. But I was talking and had to get down. But 3,000 is normal. 3,000, 32, those are all normal descent rates for us in real world. I'm going to add a little bit of thrust just so I can prolong this descent, because I want to get there a little closer to Ambat. And again, guys, we're off the network now, so don't have to broadcast anything. Add a little bit of thrust again just so I can get that banana bar closer to Ambat there. We'll let the vertical speed kind of stabilize a little bit. Yeah, the CRJ is designed in quite a way that 4,000 or 3,000 feet a minute doesn't require all that nose down. It is, you're still falling at that rate, but it doesn't look that concerning. The airplane's not reacting nowhere near fast enough to maintain 210. I brought my throttle back and it's like, oh. Alt's cap, 8,000. We're going to add thrust back for 210 because the airplane didn't maintain it all that well. That's okay. And the next one, so that's above 78. Boldy's coming up next. So we're going to get our... First of all, we're going to start descending around there, but we're also going to get our flaps and all that stuff configured to 8 before Boldy. On these RNAV with visual approaches, it's always advisable to start configuring a little bit earlier than you'd think. So it's above 7,800 there. I'm going to bug 5,100, which is the lowest at Boldy. And we'll keep it there. And again, on the chart-wise, we're around here. And so we're just going to wait till we're above 7,800, and then we're going to start down to Boldy at 51 and above. Going to lock my chairs in here, my wheels. So use my rudder pedal, I don't slide. There we go. Passing Gabbett, so we'll do 1,200 feet per minute is what's required to meet it. So vertical speed 1,200, idle thrust should be more than sufficient. And if I need spoiler, I can use spoiler. The spoilers in the airplane are very small, so in real world they don't actually do all that much. That's being addressed in the new model. And this one they do quite a significant job. I have a feeling that number's wrong. Boldy wants 2,400. That's, yeah. So basically this number is not to be trusted. Seeing how that banana bar is all the way out there. So we are going to need a bit of spoiler. Now this is 51 and above, so if we're above it, that's okay. We'll actually do 2,000, so we can just kind of keep it flowing in a nice descent here. We'll do about 1,900 or so. Let's do flat. There we go. So we'll go flap 1. And we're going to slow to 190. And flap 8. Get rid of our spoiler. It's going to be quite a tight turn. It should start smart turning. There we go. Yeah, it's already turning. That's good. And we'll slow to 180. Above 51. The next one's above 47, so we'll go 4,700 feet on that guy. We'll do a little less descent rate so we can keep it going down, maybe 1,000 feet per minute or so. It requires 900, so we're going to do 700 so we can keep it descending. I don't want to level off. I want to keep it going down. Okay, we'll go gear down. A little bit of thrust for the gear. Chime the flight attendants twice, get those armed. We're going to say we're already cleared to land, so we'll just throw these on, even though there's no ATC. We'll go flap 20, slow 160. And it looks like at this current rate, it wants 900, we're doing 700. I'll wait a little bit, but we're going to bug 32 for the next. We'll go flap 30. That'll be a 156, a little bit of thrust for flap 30. Spoilers are retracted, just double checking that. The LNAV tracking is so much better. Yeah, it is. There's still a bit of hiccups here and there, but it's so much better. I also want 1,000 feet a minute, so we're not going to do that. We're going to bug down to 3,200, which ABSOT wants 1,000 as well. We're going to wait till we're past 40. Actually, we can do it now. We'll do 1,000 a minute. That will be fine for us. We're passing 47 and above. I'm already starting to see terrain, which is good. And because I'm in the sim and I'm all alone, I'm going to go right down to flap 45, even though we're supposed to be circling at flap 30 at a VRF of 137. And it wants 900 a minute. We're going to get down there a bit sooner, so we'll do 1,200. Runway's in sight. All right, so with the runway in sight, I'm going to go autopilot disengaged. The flaps and gear are down. The reversers are armed. Flight director's off. We're now allowed to visually circle to land on the runway 34. That's kind of what that procedure's for. Notice it's all cloudy, but below the cloud it's clear. And this is what that circling procedure can be used for. So I'm going to keep driving this way a little bit. Although I probably could start my turn now, but I'm gonna get a little bit lower, and then I'm gonna start my turn. And we're gonna be turning to the left. So basically, if I bring this chart up for you, we're basically gonna go in here, and we're just gonna do a nice left turn, a nice descending left turn. And it's kind of hard to tell in the simulator. It's kind of hard to tell in the simulator where the runway is because you can't move your head. So you kind of have to just hope. So my thing in the simulator is I just bank to 30 degrees, and if it's too much bank, I can always roll out. But if it's not enough bank, I can't, right? I can't roll more than 30. So we're gonna start our turn here. So we'd say we're circling from a 3-4. And we're going to keep our descent going down here. Now what I can try to do very quickly, all alone, I should have done this before, see, I'm going to make a 5-mile ring, roughly. That can kind of help me. I'm probably going to stay around 3 miles, just inside that ring. Obviously staying visual this whole time, and obviously away from mountains. And it'd be easier to see from this side, but that's why in real life you have two people that are, you know, you guys are helping each other out. It's not a one-man show or one-woman show, whatever you want to call it. Anybody can help out. You're a team up there, so pass and fail together. It's how we train. And basically, here we are, and we're going to continue this left turn, this left descending turn, all the way back inbound. And again, in the sim, it's kind of your best guess because you can't really, you don't have the visuals to kind of move a lot and do all that kind of thing. So it's kind of your best guess, unfortunately. But we'll do it here. So we're going to bank to 30 degrees. There's 25. Maybe I'll do about 25. That should be hopefully enough. Landing checklist would have been already been completed as well. Go right to 30 degrees. Trimming and power. I'm doing a lot of power and trim movements here. Probably getting a little low, so I'm going to add a bit of thrust here. And again, I have no visual on anything because I can't move my head in the sim. A little bit of thrust. Starting to see some lights, so there we go. Oh, we're actually kind of on the Pappy, which is pretty good. So again, in the sim, you're kind of your best guess. So that's why I always go at 30 degrees, and if I need to, I can roll out of it, right? I do have VR, but I can't stream in VR, and I don't use Toby or anything else to move my head, so. You can reroll J-foot. In this version, or in this, you can't really do it.
400.
Okay, we got a win from the left. Jack correcting on the sync rate, although it shouldn't be giving me a sync rate. But anyways. Oh wait! Oh, I didn't start my sky dolly. I didn't start my recording. Well, I can do it again for you guys. I'll just do it again and I'll record it.
100. Sync rate.
Yeah.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right rudder. Reverse. Brake. Left aileron. So I'm finishing the flail like this, left aileron, and any right rudder required to maintain on center there. But I kind of wish I got a replay of that. I completely forgot. It gets really busy in this approach. So let me go, if you guys want to see it again, I can start my replay tool up. I can also start my flight instructor station up, and I can just kind of throw myself onto a final really quickly. And I'm just going to slowly, gently get to a stop here. But that's the circling in Kelowna, and that's a very legal procedure. Obviously, with real world, where you can move your head and you can, you know, make a fix and have a runway center line, all that kind of neat stuff, it's easier. Probably just moving my head would be the main thing. Why left aileron? Take a look at that windsock over there. me go over here. Let me do this. There we go. You can see it's coming from the left-hand side and then it's blowing that way. So on that flare, I required right rudder to align my nose. And if you just use right rudder, that's also going to roll the airplane to the right. So I need to, one, offset the rudder pressure with left aileron input. And more to that point, because we have that wind from the left, which wing do you see? If you're the wind, let's say you're the wind at this perspective, which wing do you see first? This one. So it's going to, that wing is actually going to be receiving more lift than the right wing in this case, because the wind's from the left. So it's going to try to pick you up and throw it over. So I actually have to hold that wing down with left aileron. So for the rudder pressure or the rudder input I need left aileron, and also just for the wind, I also need left aileron to keep that wing down. That's why we do that. You do it in Cessnas, you do it all over, and even in the CRJ. Same technique, can't beat physics. So with that all set up, let me do this, and I'll do 3, 4, 8 miles. And I'll kind of quickly just, it's going to get a little interesting, but I'm going to quickly just kind of load everything. Do Alt, set the heading around there. I've got to get out of reverse mode. Alt again, and we'll just throw the autopilot on. We'll quickly, come on zoom, there we go. I don't know why it does that. Let's see if I can quickly do CYLW back to itself. Awesome. Check our speed, a little bit more thrust, departure, arrival. RNAV is going to be 34. And I'm going to slew myself, so don't worry, guys. And I'm also going to try putting in, see if it lets me do it. RNAV, remember 34. Oh, there we go. It can do it. Okay, I didn't think that would work. Oh, no. Okay, I got rid of it. We did it? Yeah. All right. Do it again. RNAV 34. Throw that in. Execute that. So you should be able to change the radial here. It doesn't let me in the sim. You can do it, but I don't think it gives the right number. So I can try it. It'll be about 160 something, or 163. And you can see it just deletes everything. So I can only just make a 5-mile ring, but whatever. Anyways, let me go ahead and re-put us somewhere over here, and I'll basically do the entire approach again, so you guys can see it on a replay. Get rid of that. We'll go direct to, put this behind us. We'll go direct to Elson. We'll execute that. We'll click nav mode. We'll click autopilot. We'll do 3,200 feet, vertical speed down. Idle thrust on that. Wants 900 a minute. We'll do 1,000 a minute. Perfect. And I'm going to click record. Dan, welcome. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Hope that helps you. We're clicking record now. Basically, we do the same thing. If you guys want to see a circle for 1.6, I could also do that if you want to see that. It'll just be a right downwind, basically. I'm actually quite impressed with how the airplane flew that RNAV. It did a pretty good job. A very interesting approach. It is a very interesting approach, yeah. And they have RNAVs to the individual runways and stuff, but sometimes if you want to, you know, if you just want to do a cloud braking procedure to get low and then circle yourself for it, this is how you can do it. And they do it in the CRJ, they do it in the Q400s out here. I think the 320s even do it out here. So yeah. Kyle says same technique in a glider? Yeah. Basically, that just kind of that shuttle descent type style. Alright, so we'll go ahead and autopilot disengage. We'll get rid of the flight directors again. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you want to see 1.6. I'll just change the wind around, or I'll just go right back for 34 again. You let me know. Alright, so I'm going to start breaking off here, and we'll say we're circling for 34. And something I didn't do, which I should have, was set the missed approach altitude. This is where 2 people comes in handy for this kind of stuff. So we'll set 7,400 feet in the missed approach section. I just can't see it, so I zoom in there. We're going to start a very shallow descent, about 700 or so feet per minute. So I'm going to adjust my trim and my power for about 5 to 700, somewhere in there. And I keep it banking around at 30 degrees, because again, I'm just roughly guessing in the sim. I can't see, I can't move my head, and I can't set up the correct center line and all that kind of stuff. I guess I could do it mid-turn, which would be a very bad idea in real life. Never do this in real world. Take your hands and controls off, but there you go. Kind of did it. Sim's behaving quite laggily right now. This is not a word, but I'm going to use it as a word. Let's see if we can see it from this side there. So yeah, Captain would be a much easier time flying this one in than the FO would. And if the FO was flying it in, he'd probably just tell him, you know, a little high, a little low, keep coming left, keep coming right. So the, you know, the 2 pilots, they don't help each other. That is what they are there for. This actually looks better than the first one. But it's an interesting approach. It's a fun one. I recommend trying it out. And of course, you don't have to keep it a full 360. You can extend the downwind a little bit more. You're visual at that point, so you're visually maneuvering for the runway. Or you're circling to land on the runway, I should say. But if we had to go missed, we're still doing the published missed procedure, which was straight ahead to that waypoint and then over to the next one, hold at 7,400 feet. Check stable.
400. 300.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, when that new flight model comes out, it's going to be night and day. You guys are going to love it. But Dan, if you're watching this, so notice my nose is tilted off to the left here for the wind, so I'm going to have to use right rudder and a little bit of left aileron to combat that.
50, 40, 30,
Power,
20,
flare,
10,
rudder, aileron. Landing with left aileron input in, reverse, crack them into idle, get the nose down, which takes a bit of time in the current version. There we go. And we'll add our brakes. 90 knots. And as we slow down, we increase. So I landed with about this much aileron input, and then as we slow, we increase, because the aileron gets less effective as we get slower and slower, right? So there we go. I'm just kind of gently slowing down. I'm not really hooking the brakes or anything. All right, let's turn the recording off. And I'll read some comments here. I'll press play, and I get you guys to watch it here.
Flying with us, and your seat back is upright.
There's like a million announcements going on.
Please take a moment to check the seat compartments for any personal items.
Ooh. Hope you guys can see a good picture. Just look at that. There we go. Solar says, you usually have tough time telling difference between different RNAV approaches for same runway. Can you explain? Honestly, it depends on where you're going, but if it's an RNAV Alpha in this case, where it's a circling approach, it's up to the pilot to get visual and stay visual and then circle. So you can use any, you're supposed to join or try to join as much as you can a regular kind of VFR styled circuit. So that's why we're just turning here, making it into basically a right downwind, then turning into a right base, and then turning right final. That's what we kind of did. So if we had to go to 1.6 and I'm at this point, we had to land the other way, I'd go, okay, circling, I'm visual, come out here, make it a right downwind, come and land. There shouldn't be any VFR traffic if you've been given this clearance in the area anyways. So that's kind of that. But every airport's different, every procedure's different, but for the most part, that's what it is. It's just circling. It's a visual procedure, which is kind of weird. See some differences when switching between them on Navigraph. Yeah. RNAV Yankee Zulu, for example. So those ones, an RNAV Yankee or a Zulu, all that means is there's a difference in whenever they title precision approaches, they start from Zulu backwards. Although RNAVs technically aren't precision, but they kind of count them as it is, but they're not. Anyways, and anytime they have a non-precision, they'll start doing it from alpha upwards. Notice this is a non-precision RNAV approach, so it starts with alpha. If there was another approach that was a non-precision RNAV or a VOR, something like that. Sorry, if there's another RNAV that was non-precision, it would be GNS-A, then RNAV-B, then RNAV-C, if they're all non-precisions. But if there's a Yankee Zulu, that just means that there's two precision approaches to that runway, and they might just slightly change. So sometimes they have a different transition point, sometimes you come in from a different way, that kind of stuff. You just have to really compare the two different charts of which way you're coming in from. That's kind of it. Do you know when the update's coming? No idea. Yeah, I want to say it's not going to take too long, but we have to wait for the CRJ-V2 to come on the marketplace first before anything else happens. Pretty nice. Pretty good. Let's go back here and we'll do it from, let's do it from this perspective. Stand by. Press this. Oh, that's not good. Follow me. Don't worry about that. I had my camera set somewhere else. We're gonna move that back. Maybe that's why I was lagging so much, because my camera was all the way in Vancouver. I'll get to your comment there just in a second, J-Foot. Where are we? There we are. J-Foot says the circle for the other runway looks a bit tighter on terrain. Yeah, you are still above it. However, you're not really going to start descending. If I bring the chart back out, we're going to be at 3,200 feet, so we'll still be pretty much high. You kind of have to weave a little bit, but you're going to stay visually over the terrain and not hit anything, and you're going to go a little farther, maybe through there, and cut it and bring it in, because you don't really want to descend during this part. You want to descend more in this clear area. Take a turn. That one's a bit of fun too, and that one's easier from the FO seat. It's not as easy doing the RNAV 3-4 because it's like a left downwind from the right seat, so it's a bit hard to see. I'll back it up. I'll show you guys, if Dan is still here, I'll show you what that rudder input does. So notice we're crooked, and that's by design because we're crabbing in for the wind. And then as we get to that 10-foot marker, when you hear 10, I'm going to add my rudder input, right rudder and left aileron, to hold the airplane straight down the runway. This is payware clone? No, this is free. I got it from the fs.to website. John says the guy doing the announcements sounds like Alex. That name sounds familiar. I don't know who that is. Nope, not Flight Sim Studios, just default. Now I've noticed my engine sounds aren't working, so I'll manually put the engine thrust up for you so you can kind of hear it. my Sky Dolly doesn't record the sounds all that well from the recording.
Sync rate 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Gramps, I don't know what you mean by that, the drift start. Anyways, guys, we're pretty much gonna wrap up the flight around there. I really appreciate you guys joining for this laggy stream. I don't know why it's behaving like this, but I'm gonna do a NVIDIA cache clean and maybe even a reinstall, but we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, you'll notice that I'm making these kind of abrupt pitch changes, and that's just because I'm used to the new one, and the way the real one flies is you're able to do these quick jabs on the yoke, which in the current one don't look or work all that well, but when the new one comes out, that's how you're basically be flying the airplane, with these nice quick little jabs to make the airplane do what you want to do in a precise manner. And you can do that when the new one comes out. It'll be really good. I think it'll get a lot of people into the RJ that they weren't RJ fans. I think it'll bring a lot of people in. Wrong button. I screwed up. I'm not a streamer. That was looking all good too. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or stream I should say. I'll get to the last comments and we'll go on the Jeopardy host. Oh yeah. I forgot that's his name. Awesome, we'll keep an eye out for the future streams. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for joining in, and there'll be more to come. I've kind of slowed down content just because I'm really waiting for the new flight model. I don't like this one. So I'm just waiting to do the new one at this point. Gramps, is it crossing correction? Oh yeah, okay. For example, you can use the drift start. Short span. I still don't shoot by drift start though, sorry. Also, if you use custom NVIDIA settings, maybe check those up, see if you were... Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Go check that real quick. Let me go check. I think he's on to something. Not even showing up in my NVIDIA control panel, so I'm gonna have to add it in. I'll have to add it in later. But I will check that for sure. That's a good point. Oh, I see what you mean, Gramps. Oh, got it. You can really see it in the front view. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I can show you guys real quick before I go here. Let's just pretend we're doing a takeoff. We'll go to flap 8 or whatever. Just bear with me here, and I'm gonna put the wind. I'm gonna skyrocket the wind, so you guys can really see the effects of it. We'll put a wind to 30 knots or so from the left. If I just go toga thrust, right, with a bunch of aileron, and this is all because of the replay and all this kind of stuff, so don't worry about all the red stuff. As we start accelerating, obviously my airplane's going to start going, but I want to need some pressure there. And as I get faster, this is no aileron input. What you're going to start to see is the airplane should start to get a little left leaning. And I need a whole lot of... That's full right rudder. But if I just go ahead and use the aileron to counter it... Actually, it's not really doing that good of an idea. The new flight model does it better than this one does, but... Because I'm actually needing actually needing opposite aileron. But anyways, I'll show you when the new flight model comes up because it's properly done. But basically, if you start accelerating with a left wind like that, and you didn't have your aileron input in, it would kind of take off. Pretend we were straight on the runway. It would kind of take off a little left wing up, because that wing is being picked up by the wind, and you'd have to hold it down with the left aileron, which the new flight model will do that. This one didn't really want to do it at all, so I tried, but yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. So we'll see you guys in the next one, and really appreciate you guys stopping in. Enjoy the rest of your day.